What kind of personal qualities do you think are most important when it comes to leading a company through tough times? And I'm going to start off at the far end with you, Brendon.
We have to be positive. As a leader, I need to be positive right now. And that goes into the psychology of what we're dealing with right now, but also really sustaining strong momentum, in our business. You need discipline, and you can't lose sight of those disciplines today. And you have to be very adaptable.
Excellent. Doug Richard, you go next.
We all too often, as the leaders of our businesses, try to take on too much of the business. And there's no better time than when times get tough to actually trust the people who work for us more, not less.
Russell Taylor, what have you got to say?
My view, it's an element of all of them, but I'd pick humility. It's very easy to focus on all of the big things that are going on around us in times of difficulty. Yet in the majority of the time, our people at the front end of our business really know the direction in which we should be heading.
Nick Fry, your thoughts?
I think absolute determination to succeed, taking every day as it comes and just working through as a team. And the thing that really worked for us is not just the whole team, but the top team especially remained completely glued together. Everyone sang from the same song sheet, everyone was equally determined, everyone supported everyone else. And I think in difficult times that's invaluable.
Chey Garland, what are your thoughts?
Resilience, responsive to client needs, responsive to your staff, to be flexible. It's a changing landscape. Enabling for clients, enabling for your people, and certainly motivating. Difficult times need to keep the people focused, feeling positive about what they're handling.
How would you go about motivating and inspiring your staff through tough times?
Certainly share the vision, take as many opportunities to be involved with your people as possible, create an open environment for them to be able to ask questions and be given truthful answers, and let them know exactly what they need to do to deliver. And there's nothing wrong in having fun in tough times, so make the place a great place to be.
I think honesty and open communication. I think that people are not stupid. Standing in front of a large audience and saying everything's great when it clearly isn't doesn't wash.
Take the tough decisions very, very quickly. Most employees know most of the time what needs to be done. Usually it's the boss who gets around to it last.
I think it's the big things and the little things, and I think they have to go together. So the big things are about connecting and engaging with employees on what they think the change agenda should be for the organisation, creating that change agenda and making sure they continue to be engaged and part of it, and that's the big thing. And the little things are answering your emails personally, leveraging new ways of communicating. Twitter's the latest one. Going and participating in meetings on a regular basis and being really, really accessible.
I think also we need to think a little bit about the kind of environment going forward for businesses, the kind of skills that businesses are going to need to get them through these very tough times and indeed to thrive in the future.
In my experience of working with some wonderful people and some incredibly inspiring leaders has been that the skills have already been there. That the genius within them and within all of us is already there. Our jobs is to create an environment in which it can be unlocked. And that is a lot less around the curriculum and the process and much more around the environment in which we create, both for our young people and for our budding leaders in the future.
Doug Richard, former BBC Dragon, you clearly know a fair amount about the financing of start-up businesses. Have you got any tips you can share with us?
Yeah, remember that banks aren't there to finance you. I mean, I think banks make, even in the good times, banks make very little money for the money they lend. Much of the money that goes into startups comes from families and friends. And the other category, technically known as fools, but we'll ignore them for the day. And I think, in fact, that those relationships remain. And I think that one has to remember that if you're a small business, actually you're part of an ecosystem. And you have permission. This is, Geithner in the US said, we shouldn't waste a good recession. We have permission to act differently.
We don't do anything fancy. We're quite a simple business, and we're funded through reinvestment of profits. and have some borrowing from the bank. But I've always made sure that I've kept the bank as close as I can. And that means that once a quarter, our bank people will come through and have a tour of the entire estate, meet with managers, meet with staff, talk about where we are in the business plan, understand what's coming downstream, and that's worked very well.
So thank you very much indeed to all the panel.